What's up, guys? Talk movies with us here, back again with another review. This time, a Patreon requested review.
Yes.
By Chris Rivers. He requested for us to watch and review 8 Men Out.
What is 8 Men Out about?
8 Men Out is based on a book which was based on the events from pretty much coming up on 100 years now.
1919.
Chicago White Sox team, which is now will be forever known as the Black Sox era. What this is about is back in the day, ball players, being a baseball player was kind of like a common job. You know, you didn't get paid like they do now, millions upon millions of dollars.
And you went home every day to like your wife and your kids, but like everybody knew you, like you were... You weren't famous.
You were a normal person.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
You were a normal person, and so the owner of the White Sox at the time, Mr. Comiskey, he wasn't the greatest owner. He didn't treat his players that right, you know?
He was supposed to give them a bonus that year and didn't give them a bonus. Yeah. So needless to say, they were pretty upset.
So like all of us, whatever we could do for extra cash, we'll seek out that opportunity.
The get-rich-quick scheme.
The get-rich-quick scheme. And what did they do to earn this money?
Basically, they decided to bet against themselves. Betting was really big back in the day. I mean, obviously it still is now. But they had the opportunity to fix some of their own games to earn some extra cash, and they decided to do that. But only some of the team. It was only, 8 players or so.
Yeah, I mean, this was a very big integrity issue. I mean, the White Sox that year were the ultimate favorite. They were the best team in baseball.
Playing the Cincinnati Reds in that series.
Now, the big conflict going on in this film is a lot of these players didn't care about the money. They wanted to be true to the game and play to their full potential and actually win the World Series. They didn't want to do this. They were not for it.
Yeah, they actually had a passion for the game. Other guys, they got bills to pay.
They got bills to pay,
them.
So it's kind of, you throw that scenario, what would you do, kind of, if you were playing baseball 100 years ago?
What would you do?
I don't know. I love winning. I can't lose. I don't care.
That's true.
I don't care. I'm the biggest sore loser you'll ever meet in your life.
True. You would have been John Cusack's character.
Yes, I would.
Which leads us into who is in this movie.
Yes, this film has a star-studded cast. John Cusack, Michael Rooker, Charlie Sheen, D.B. Sweeney playing the famous Shoeless Joe Jackson.
And of course we have Christopher Lloyd. There are a couple of other names in there, but there are so many stars in this movie.
Yeah, a really, really good cast. And one of my favorite characters, I'm not sure of his name, but he was the catcher on the team.
Oh my God.
And he was the one on the team.
He was so passionate.
But he had no idea what was going on. He's like, what's going on? I called the curveball. You're throwing meatballs right down the middle.
Yeah.
He was definitely not in on this whole scheme, and he was just feisty and pissed off the whole series.
It was kind of funny.
It was fun to watch, I feel, for the catcher in this film.
Yeah, I mean, overall, the performances are really, really well done. I mean, they were really convincing in being baseball players.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
In terms of hitting, catching, fielding, all of that, they really made you to believe that they were real baseball players.
Yeah, that's one of the things that kind of throws me off a little bit in these baseball films is if the baseball doesn't look like it's being played correctly. Yeah. And I gotta say, I mean, they pretty much sold it, whether if it was stunt guys or it was really them. They looked pretty good playing the game.
I mean, the baseball game in general was so different back then. I mean, their uniforms, everything was so much different.
Oh, yeah. They shared the gloves on the field. They would toss the glove out to their position every inning so the other team could use them. And it was fun seeing a young Michael Rooker, I mean, he's blown up nowadays with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and stuff.
Y'all.
And of course he was in Slither.
Yes.
James Gunn kind of brought him into the limelight a little bit, but he had a lot of smaller roles back in the day. And it's just so funny how he's always the same snake in the grass character that you love to hate. He just got one of those faces that I turned to you. I was like, God, Michael Rooker is just the same all the time. I just can't stand him. Great actor, but...
You do like him, but you don't like him.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel that way with Yondu. I mean, you don't like him at first, and then... Yeah.
Yeah.
And John Cusack, I mean, he was so young in this movie as well. I mean, they all were young at this point.
John Cusack was a legend back in the day. He's kind of faltered off a little bit nowadays, not as big, but back in the day, man, he was big, and he was very good in this film. He was another one of the characters that absolutely loved the game, too.
He loved the game, and he hated the fact that
wanted no part of this.
Teammates were cheating, essentially, and we learned at the end of the movie that his actual the character that he played fought until the guy died to say that he was innocent because he was thrown into this group of people who were cheating.
Yeah, the whole court case went on and this and that, and he was the guy, like you said, he tried to clear his name till his death that he wanted nothing to do with this. So that was pretty good to watch. And overall, really fun movie. I'm a huge baseball fan. We're a huge baseball fans, so anything baseball, I'm down to watch.
Yeah, and it was really interesting. It was a really interesting story. To be honest with you, really didn't have any prior knowledge to this actual event that happened. Maybe I'm not as big of a baseball fan as some people.
Yeah, I mean, I have, just from over the years.
Right,
you know?
right. But I was intrigued the entire movie. I was like, this is actually a really interesting story because I wonder what would happen nowadays if that were to happen. I mean, with social media and everything, happen. I don't think it would actually be possible. Someone would snitch, something would get out, there would be pictures of this or something.
Well, maybe not in baseball, but I mean, basketball, there's always that question is the game fixed, you know?
Well, we used to say that about hockey.
Oh, and the Super Bowl.
Oh, and the Super Bowl,
all the huge leads that have been blown, like at halftime, like just a lot of questionable play calls. And
yeah, and you wonder.
I mean, there are some games, more particularly in the NFL, where I've been saying this is fixed, you know? Like, but I don't want to go down that road. But you know, it could still be prevalent today, but I hope it isn't.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, even, just to see the technology, I guess you could say that they didn't have back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when they went to, all the guys who are betting on a game, they're sitting in this room and the guy is getting like
telegrams.
Yeah. About each play. And it's so interesting to me. I almost wish that I lived back then.
Oh, man, I don't know about that. But it was really
such a simple time.
Like the radio back then was just like hearing sounds, and the little kids from the neighborhood were watching the games and reporting everything to their friends. It was a very educating movie. You learned a lot from it, but it was also entertaining, good story. Overall, I loved it.
I loved it too. So what are you gonna grade it?
I'll give it a solid A. I learned a lot from it, and it kept me entertained throughout. Great performances. Charlie Sheen, back in the day when I guess he had his head on his shoulders. I don't know the answer to that question, but it was fun to watch him. But yeah, I had a great time with it. I'm glad we got recommended to watch it.
Yeah, I honestly had never really heard of the movie, so I'm glad that you did recommend it, Chris. I had a great time with it. I'm going to also give it an A. It was very interesting. I was intrigued from start to finish, and it went by really quick. Like, it was a 2-hour movie, but it didn't honestly feel like that.
Yeah, it had a very good flow to it. Very well-directed film, and I'll definitely be on the lookout for this one if it's on Blu-ray or not, All right, guys, thank you for checking out this review of 8 Men Out, and another big thanks to Chris Rivers for recommending this to us and supporting us on Patreon. It truly means a lot to us, and yeah, we appreciate it.
Let us know in the comments below what your favorite baseball movie is, and as always, guys, give this video a big thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys later.